Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's podcast. Today we're doing a little bit of double duty in that we want to show you just a little bit of the surroundings here at Direct Line Prayer Center if you haven't been in yet, to see that we've got new fresh paint, and you can't see the carpeting, but it looks very nice, and a little bit of new furniture here too. If you want to see the rest of it, you have to come in to take a look at it. Mainly why we're here today is I want to just introduce you to Joy Christensen. Joy volunteers as a prayer person in the week during the week time, but also on some Saturdays she goes to Avera Behavioral Health and ministers to the patients there. And that's really what I wanted to ask you about, Joy, is what is it that you enjoy most about going to Avera Behavioral and the interaction that you have with the patients there?
Okay, well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for asking. The biggest thing is just being able to go there and bring some hope. And that is really what they're there for. They've made the choice, or it's been made for them to be there. But they are also just like sponges. They're looking for something too. And they know that life hasn't worked.
Yeah.
What they've been doing hasn't worked. But they need to hear the hope and the restoration and the victory that is available because of Jesus Christ. And it's a very simple, straightforward message. You just bring them hope.
Now, I don't know if there is such a thing as a typical Saturday when you go out there, but it is on Saturdays in the afternoons that we have these sessions with the patients. What would a typical Saturday look like, if you could describe one?
Well, typically I go in with either a word or a thought, kind of a message that God has given me, but it's centered always, it always is the message of hope and faith and restoration and victory, that it's available through life circumstances. God is the same. And so I go in with basically the same kind of mission and desire to speak with whoever's there. But the groups are always different. And you rarely see you don't see the same people twice. If you go there once a month, you won't. And you just kind of wait to see who comes in the door. I just prayerfully wait to see who comes in and sits at the table. And I figure if it's 1 or it's 16 or it's 3 or male, female, God has ordained them to be there that day just as the same as He's placed me there. And so that's the right group. Yeah. That's who I'm supposed to give that message to.
Well, we sure appreciate your willingness to be a part of that ministry. I've often described it as one of the most fruitful parts of the ministry that we do at Direct Line Prayer Center. And the reason we shared this with you today is just the idea to plant a seed that maybe you would consider being a part of the Avera Behavioral outreach that we do on Saturdays. It takes a couple of hours, but you're only there once a month. We try to schedule it that way so that it's a limited responsibility that you would carry. If you have any interest or questions at all, would you please just give Susie a call and talk to her about it. And if you would like, we can arrange to have you have the opportunity to go in and do what we call a taste and see, just to see what happens, begin to experience what that's like, and that way you could possibly see whether or not you would fit into that kind of an environment and whether you might allow God to use you in that way. Thanks again, Joy, for what you do. God bless you.
It's a privilege.
Yeah.